Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to take a look at the top 3 most common mistakes that students make in their writing. And not just students, anyone could make these mistakes. We're looking at mistakes that are not just unique to non-native speakers. We're specifically looking at mistakes that even native speakers, even people who are fairly good at writing, sometimes fall prey to. And before I start each category, I'm going to tell you a joke that has something to do with that particular category. I want you to think carefully and see how the joke relates to that particular type of mistake. You ready? All right, joke number 1. On an old pirate ship, the first mate goes up to the captain and says, "The cannons be ready, sir." The captain responds, "Arr." That sounded funnier in my head. Okay. Subject-verb agreement is the first category of mistakes. What do we mean by subject-verb agreement? Well, it basically means if you have a singular subject, you use a singular verb. If you have a plural subject, you use a plural verb. For example, in the sentence, "The apple fall far from the tree," the subject apple and the verb fall do not correspond. The apple is singular, therefore the verb should be falls. The apple falls far from the tree. Actually, it doesn't. Or in the example, "Birds of a feather flocks together," the subject birds is plural. Therefore, the verb should be flock rather than flocks. All right, let's take a look at some more trickier examples. Take a look at this sentence. About $2.2 trillion have been spent to help save the economy. Is this sentence correct or is it incorrect? What is the subject? What is the verb? Are they in agreement with each other? The answer is no. The subject of the sentence is 2.2 trillion, and the verb is have. The number 2.2 trillion should go with a singular verb, but the writer's been confused by dollars. Dollars is in the plural, but that's not the subject of your sentence. So the correct answer would be about $2.2 trillion has been spent to help save the economy. Let's take a look at another example. John's excellent rapport with his students, along with his strong grasp of mathematics, have made him a very successful teacher. Think about it. Is this sentence correct or is it incorrect? What is the subject? What is the verb? Are they in agreement with each other? Once again, the answer is no. The subject of the sentence is John's excellent rapport with his students. I know that we have another element along with his strong grasp of mathematics, but the subject is rapport, and therefore the verb has to be has rather than have. The correct answer would be John's excellent rapport with his students, along with his strong grasp of mathematics, has made him a very successful teacher. One last example before we move on to number 2. Behind the schoolyard, there is one swing set and a sand pit where the neighborhood kids can go play after hours. How about this one? Is this sentence correct? Do you see agreement between the subject and the verb? Now, this one's tricky. The answer, again, is no. This sentence is incorrect. How many things are there behind the yard? Well, there's a swing set and a sand pit. These two nouns have been coordinated. Therefore, you should say there are one swing set and a sand pit where the neighborhood kids can go play. Now, this is a little confusing. You might be like, it says one swing set. Yes, but it's a swing set and a sand pit. So it's basically two things. All right, guys, time to move on to category number 2. And before that, joke number 2. Here goes. When I was a kid, my English teacher looked my way and said, "Name 2 pronouns." I said, "Who? Me?" Really? Okay. The second category is pronoun antecedent agreement. What does that mean? It means when we have a pronoun which is masculine, or when we have a pronoun which is feminine, or when we have a pronoun that refers to inanimate things, which is an inanimate pronoun, the antecedent should also be of that category. Let's take a look at some examples to see what we exactly mean by this. Look at this sentence. In some cultures, a woman is assigned a role in life and is constantly reminded of their duties to men. Is this sentence correct? The answer is no. Think about it. In some cultures, a woman, so we're talking about a singular subject, a woman. So it doesn't make sense to use a plural pronoun there. The correct answer would be, in some cultures, a woman is assigned a role in life and is constantly reminded of her duties to men. So there should be an agreement between the pronoun her and the noun to which it refers, in this case, a woman. Let's take a look at another example, guys. The branches of the university, which long adhered to a no layoff policy, began changing its procedures under the pressure of financial losses. How about this sentence? Is it correct? The answer is no. The branches of the university, which long adhered to a no layoff policy, that's the entire subject, but the head noun is branches. And the branches began changing their procedures. Its is singular. Moving on to category number 3 and joke number 3. Here goes nothing. The past, the present, and the future walked into a bar. It was tense. All right, I think I should give up the jokes thing. Not working for me. All right, so the problem is inconsistent verb tense. What does that mean? Well, if you start your sentence in a particular tense, you need to be consistent and you need to use that same tense all through. Sometimes people forget and they switch tenses in the middle of a sentence. Let's take a look at some examples. The first one. The scene involves both Macbeth and Banquo on horses riding across the heath where they encountered the 3 witches, often called the 3 hags or 3 weird sisters. Now, you can see that the problem is in the tense. The first sentence has Macbeth and Banquo riding, which is present, but then the second part, in the second clause, we have where they encountered. So it would make sense to change encountered to encounter so that we have present tense consistently throughout the sentence. Take a look at this other example. Rebecca kept the promise she has given to Javier on their honeymoon in Paris. So Rebecca kept, past tense, the promise she has given. This is present perfect. So doesn't make sense. It has to be in the past as well. Something like Rebecca kept the promise she gave to Javier on their honeymoon in Paris. Thank you, as always, for watching this video. I promise you, when I come back with more common mistakes in future videos, I will cut out the jokes. Thank you so much.